Is this thing on? What's up, guys? FearTex here with another Diablo 3 guide. And in this guide, I'll be going over the litany of the Undaunted build for the Crusader, or the LoN Crusader. This character is probably the hardest character in the game to gear because you need specific roles on gear for it to work, such as everything has to be ancient, thorns, and cooldown reduction on most of your gear. I'll go over the stat priorities and items in the itemization part of this video. But anyways, many people ask if this build is fun. To most people it's not, but some people it is. I'm one of those people that really enjoys this build. I think this is my favorite build in the entire game right now. It's a different playstyle, it's fresh and new, and I advise everyone to go check it out if they have the time to grind out ancient items. Now, what makes it fun? Well, it's simple. You're always doing something, whether it be casting bombardments, dodging stuff, or lining up abilities correctly to do damage. Now, as you can see, the Crusader is pretty squishy, which is why you need to pay attention to the cooldowns on your Indestructible and Prophet to maximize your uptime on those abilities. Now, you also need to know when you'll take damage and when you're not going to, and when you're going to deal damage and when you're not. Now, how do you do damage? At lower greater rifts, like 40 to 60, you can get away with just casting a bombardment without any other cooldowns, and it do okay in clear density. But once you start going past 60 and definitely in the 70 range, it won't even tickle them. So once you use a certain Iron Skin rune to align it with the physical element on your ring, along with Accurate's Champion, depending on the situation, you're going to deal a massive amount of damage with your bombardments. You know, you don't want to use Iron Skin too early or too late, because it has a 4-second cooldown. Well, it lasts for 4 seconds. So if you use it during that lightning element, right before it goes into physical, but not right as it switches, because you want to get that bombardment off when it lands, so it'll use the full physical damage to its max potential. Why not use Iron Skin in physical though? You do it in lightning to get the full physical damage increase on bombardment, as bombardment snapshots Iron Skin damage, which makes it a great ability for this build. Now that we kind of went over what the LoN Crusader does, now I'm going to commentate on what's going on in this Greater Rift. And as you can see, I'm kind of just running around trying to avoid the damage, but because it's a 71 Greater Rift, I can kind of get a little cocky and run around with my C charge because they don't actually do that much damage. You see I'm kind of just running around grabbing mobs. There's a pylon over there, and as I was running over there, I saw that my lightning was about to go into my physical, so I popped my Iron Skin, ran over there, grabbed the shrine, popped bombardment, went into physical damage, and I took out the majority of those mobs that followed me. Now right there, I saw that that I was about to take a lot of damage, so I forced myself into Indestructible, got it to proc, popped my Iron Skin, and then popped bombardment as it went into physical damage on the ring, which made me do a lot of damage, clear out another big chunk of mobs there. But also because my Indestructible proc, I popped Accurates, because just in case I got hit again, just in case I didn't die. Just running around, kind of waiting for the physical to come around, and here it comes. Pop Iron Skin, pop bombardment, spin around under horse. I'm going to take out this rare pack right here. And we're just going to keep on going. We still have another guy. Physical's about to come up again. Pop Iron Skin, pop that bombardment damage, and we just spin around until we get him dead. Now these low health, I kind of go off to find another pack or two or some more mobs, but it's the end of their level, so I just kind of run back and then continue to kill him. Which I'll kill him right here, and then we'll go on to the next level. It's really not that bad of a playstyle. Some people say it's pretty boring because you're not really doing anything, but to me, you're actually doing something all the time. You're avoiding damage, you're in the fight, you're running away from the fight. It really depends on what's going on. We've got a huge density here. Something about Crusader though is, or with the bombardment, is that it does split up. It doesn't go wherever you click. So if there's a big density of mobs like there is right here, it's not actually going to go right on top of the rare pack where I click. It's kind of just going to randomly throw barrels of whatever it chooses. So what you want to do is you want to kind of round them up and then use your Divine Verdict, or your Shield Glare, I'm sorry, and get them to stand on one spot like I did there. And I put my Iron Skin on my bombardment and I cleared out all the white mobs, so it's just the rare pack here. Now I run off to see if I can find some more mobs because I don't really need to kill the rare pack, so I just want to go off and kill some more whites to get the Rift Guardian to spawn. So that's what I do. And there we go. We got him to spawn. Stone Singer. Stone Singer's actually kind of hard now. He's kind of annoying. He does hit pretty hard. So now that I realize that, I try to stay away from him because he did proc my indestructible there. So I just kind of want to keep my distance and just watch out for the Convention of Elements procs and try not to waste my bombardments. Just run around kind of. The Rift Guardians you really don't want to go in there because they will one shot you. But yeah, it's pretty much it. You know, you just run around. Like things like this, you shield glare. They're not going to take any damage. So you just run in there. You can kind of kill mobs like that with your steed charge. Maybe not with your guys' steed charge because you may not have a swift mount because mine lasts so long. I could do a decent amount of damage with mine. And while you're steed charging, you know, you just pop indestructible when you can, or not indestructible, iron skin, and then you know, get your bombardments out there to do a huge amount of damage. Now another thing too is because thorns and like reflective skin is a huge multiplier in your damage to bombardment. Power pylons are huge, so it's best to save power pylons for bosses, Rift Guardians if you can, because you can get 2 to 3 bombardments out in that power pylon before it will fall if you do it right, and you can pretty much just kill the Rift Guardian just with that pylon alone. You don't have to do any other time with it. Like I said, you do kill, or as you can see, you do kill Rift Guardians pretty fast. And I'm still learning Crusader, so I'm not the best at it. But I'm still missing 3 ancient items, so I'm also losing a lot of damage. Enjoy the next part of the video. We're going to go on to the stats. What is up, guys? Now I'm going to go over the spells and abilities and the itemization and stuff for this build. We're going to start with the spells. Now, your left click, you can go with Shield Glare Divine Verdict here, blinding all enemies up to 30 yards in front of you for 4 seconds. Blinded enemies take 20% more damage for 4 seconds. Now you don't have to use this. A lot of people actually prefer Consecration with Bed of Nails. Consecrated ground becomes covered in nails. Enemies that walk into the area take 100% of your thorns damage every second. Now, this isn't a bad option. I tried it out, kind of liked it, but because my survivability is so low, and I don't have a Saint Archu's gloves or whatever yet, they're ancient, I'm going with Shield Glare because I can get away with you know, a little more CC on the mobs. Now this is the big ability that we use here. Bombardment Barrel of Spikes. 60-second cooldown, calls an assault from afar, raining 5 barrel of spikes into enemies around you, dealing 2,800% total weapon damage to enemies within 12 yards of the impact zone. Damage of each barrel is increased by 200% of your thorns. It's pretty retarded. Now, Steed Charge Spike Barding. This is your Steed Charge that you're going to be using for this build. Your Warhorse deals 500% of your thorns every second enemies through which you ride. Now you may ask why not use like Rejuvenation or Endurance. Well, you can. They're not bad. The Rejuvenation doesn't really do much though. The reason I use Spiked Barding is because maybe there's like a mob or one little zombie or something like just running around and it has like 1 health and just go over it with your horse and it dies. So I mean, there's a couple mobs that get away with that, so you can just run over it with your horse and it dies. Now this is the big thing here too. Iron Skin. On top of it, you giving a 50% absorption of all incoming damage for 44 seconds. While active, your thorns is increased by 300%. Because it increases your thorns by 300%, it also increases barrel of spike damage by an additional. You know, you get 200% of your thorns damage, so 200 plus the 300%. It's a crazy amount of damage at snapshots. So when you press your Iron Skin and then you Bombardment right as physical comes out, you're basically going to be like 2-shotting rare packs, maybe even 1-shotting. I still don't have an Ancient Litany, or Wailing Host, or Bracers. Once I get those, I want to be 1-shotting rare packs at 75. Laws of Justice, Immovable Object. Empower the law, granting you and your allies 490 increased resist to all elements and increasing armor by 7,000 for 5 seconds. With passive, recite the law, granting you and allies 140 increased R resist. Now, you don't have to go with this. A lot of people prefer decaying strength, which is what I actually should be using. While the law is empowered, any enemy who attacks you or your allies will have their damage reduced by 50% for 5 seconds, stacking to up to a maximum of 60%. But at higher greater rifts, you're not actually going to want to be getting hit, right? You're going to get one shot if you do, so that's why you go with this, with the movable object, because at higher greater rifts, you're going to be getting hit by arrows and stuff. And overall, this is just going to be a better option. For speed clears, you can go with Laws of Hope with Wings of Angel. You get the extra movement speed if you want it. But for right now, I go with Immovable Object for the armor and all resist. And lastly, Acker's Champion, Prophet. Hands down, best ability for Acker's Champion. You get 150% additional armor while Acker's Champion is active. And the first time you take fatal damage while Acker's Champion is active, you will be returned to full health. This gives you another cheat death, because we're going with Indestructible here. Now, in Indestructible, if you don't know, when you receive fatal damage, you instantly become immune to damage, gain 35% increased damage, and gain 107,000 life per kill for 5 seconds. Cannot occur every 60 seconds. Now, when I went back to saying you need to know when you're going to take damage, it's because, like it says here, you gain 35% increased damage, so you can actually take damage, proc this, pop your Iron Skin, pop Acker's Champion, pop Iron Skin, Bombardment, and you can almost one-shot like everything because you gain that extra damage here. Lord of the Commander, you need this. Cooldown or Siege Charge is reduced with 25% and Bombardment by 35%. Iron Maiden, your Thorns is increased. You need that too, by 50%. Fervor, you don't need this unless you need the CDR. Now, if you don't need the CDR, you can go with Hold Your Ground or Finery. I have Finery on my Hellfire Amulet, so that's why I don't have it here. And you could go with Long Arm or the Law too. But I go with Fervor because I'm like right at the CDR cap when I don't have it, but it's enough to give me like 5 more percent of CDR, which I kind of like. And now over to the gear. Now the weapon, there's several other weapons you can go with. So far, it's the best one I've gotten so far. I haven't actually picked up a Doombringer to even re-roll it, but I think Doombringer is going to be the best because you get physical damage on it, and you can get a CDR roll, and I think you can even get an area damage roll on it as well. Now, you're asking maybe why don't you life percent or attack speed? We're not actually attacking with our weapon, so percent damage or attack speed actually does nothing for us. So that's why we roll off the percent damage, and we go with CDR and area damage as our main things. But if you can roll physical damage, you get physical damage on there as well. And if you don't know, Swift Mount doubles the duration of Steed Charge. Then Illusory Boots. You can go with Ice Climbers as well. Ice Climbers are pretty good, and you want to get Strength of it, R Resist, Movement Speed, and Thorns obviously in your secondary. You basically want Thorns everywhere. If you have like the stats like this on your primary, then roll the secondary to Thorns. Hexing Pants of Mr. Yin. By far the best pants. You want Strength of it, All Resist, and Thorns. Your shield is also kind of whatever you can pick up, really. Anything that's ancient. You want to get Strength, CDR, area damage. I think Bombardment damage you can get on there too, and then Thorns. There's some shields, I think the Crusader shields you can get 5 properties, so you can also get physical damage on there as well. And that would obviously be the best if you get all those properties on there. But this is fine here, CDR, All Resist, Vid, Strength, Thorns. And then you want Belt of the Trial, by far the best. Obviously you'd want life percent instead of regen and Thorns in your secondary. But you want 6 seconds, that's the best roll. 6 to 8 seconds, you want 6. And it to be ancient. Now, Kilo Cuirass, you can use Heart of Iron, whichever one you're not using, put the other one in the cube. Strength of it, Bombardment, and then you want Thorns in your secondary. Now, Urux's Crown, it's the best helmet. Obviously, Strength of it, All Resist, Thorns again. Shoulders, you'd want Strength, uh, area damage, CDR, and bombardment damage I think you can get here. If not, then get vitality or all resist, whichever you need. And then obviously thorns. Will of the light, you'd want strength, CDR, area damage, and vit. But you wouldn't want these gloves though. You want these gloves over here, the St. Archie's Gauge. I actually haven't picked them up ancient. I've been re-rolling them, but I'm too lazy to keep farming bounties because they're just so time consuming. And it's hard to find a group of 4 for some reason. But these are by far the best gloves you want, the St. Archie's Gauge. Then we got Willing Host and Litany. There's several different options you can go with here, or not several, but like a couple different options with stats you can go here. You definitely want CDR and strength, but then you can go with vitality, all resist, area damage. They're all pretty good, and then obviously thorns. Same on both. Nemesis Bracer is probably the best because getting that extra elite pack is pretty huge. Then you obviously want them to be ancient. My rings aren't ancient either. I don't know how. I picked up like 20 of these things, I swear, but I guess I haven't picked up enough. The Nemesis Bracers, strength vit, all resist physical damage. You don't want crit, because crit actually doesn't really do nothing for you because it's all thorns, so I don't think thorns can crit. So yeah, then thorns damage, of course. And then Hellfire Amulet, strength, CDR, and physical damage is what you want it to be ancient, and then thorns in your secondary, and then you want to go with a useful passive that you're going to use. I got Finery here, which is why I don't use it here, so this is the 4 passives I have here. But you definitely want Finery. If you don't have Finery, then get one of the other 4. Legendary gems. Bane of the Trap is a must. Secondary procs to primary. It's a multiplier of damage. Boyarski's Chip. Obviously you need that. You gain the extra thorns damage. And there's a couple different things you can use here. Bane of the Powerful seems to be the best because you're really good at killing elite packs, so you constantly have this Bane of the Powerful up. And since we kill Griff Guardians pretty fast anyway, we don't really need Bane of the Stricken, which is this right here. My other character has a higher one, but you can if you need it. You don't kill white mobs as fast, but you kill rare packs and stuff faster. If that's what you have a problem with, you can go with that. What was another one? Esoteric. You can go with this if you're dying. If you need survivability as well. If you don't need the survivability, I wouldn't go with that. But I would definitely go with Bane of the Trapped, or Bane of the Powerful. I'm sorry. It's probably your best bet. And then your cube, you're gonna want to go with the Mortal Drama because you're gonna double the number of bombardment impacts. It's hands down the best. And then, like I said before, if you don't get a kilo, if you're wearing Heart of Iron, use a kilo of Curus, the cube, or vice versa. A Heart of Iron, you gain 300% thorns equal to your vitality, which is pretty overpowered. The convention elements, everyone knows the convention elements. You gain 200% increased damage to a single element for 4 seconds. This effect rotates. You may ask, why are we not using amethysts in your gear? Because of the Heart of Iron. You actually gain more damage from the strength, so that's why we use those. And then you want CDR all around. Your minimum CDR you want for this build is 61%, because 61% means you're going to have Iron Skin and Bombardment up every single time you have a physical element proc, which is what you want, because that's going to maximize your DPS. And if you don't have that, then you're actually losing a lot of damage. If you had anything below 61%, you're going to get basically one in every other physical rotation, which is pretty bad. I don't actually think I got 61% CDR until about Greater Rift 69, I think is when I finally got enough CDR to go to 70 and stuff. That's it for the gear and for the video, guys. If there's anything else you want me to go over, like Barbarian or something like that, I think that's what I'm going to do next. Let me know in the comments. As well, if you want to see any other games such as Blade and Soul or World of Warcraft, because I know those are very popular games, and I've been playing Blade and Soul like crazy. Well, let me know. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. See you in the next one.